It's been 5 days since I raced Unbound, and I'm kind of resetting my goals for the remainder of the year. So before I start shredding, losing body fat, maybe building up some muscle and changing my program, I wanted to get a Dexa scan to see currently where my body composition's at. So this is gonna tell us how much fat I have, how much muscle I have, for better, for worse. Let's find out.
Derek, what's up with your voice?
Dude, I just recorded the podcast recap of Unbound. It's gone. I gave all I have. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Christy?
Yep.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Oh my gosh, it's been 4 years?
Yes, it has.
Wow.
So 13.2 body fat percentage, that's subcutaneous fat. Your weight was just shy of 156.
This right here is representative of 1 pound of visceral fat. Look at this thing. Yeah, I think this is. It's my water bottle. It's my hand. It's fist. That's 1 pound.
So we're checking your numbers out here,
All right.
and they're going in the right direction, even though it's almost 4 years. Way too long to wait for another Dexa scan.
I'll come back in.
Young man.
So I'm gonna take action right after this.
Okay, awesome. So this is your weight today. You're up 3.3 pounds in 4 years. Your body fat percentage, though, is down 0.4%. So that's subcutaneous fat, the fat that's above the muscle but below the skin. Your lean muscle is up not quite 4 pounds, but over 3.5. So that's always a good thing. Visceral fat, we talked a little bit about that. That's the fat around your organs. You had 0 before, you have 0 now. It's really difficult to get better than that number, obviously. So
That's awesome.
I certainly have professional athletes that come in here that have a hard time getting it below 0.6, 0.7. So this is obviously, again, 0. You can't get better than that. So and there's a certain population, percent of the population, I should say, that can get to 0. Obviously, you're one of them. Your bone density, T-score.
Why am I below 0?
Well, you know, you're a little. It's still considered normal. It's still considered normal. But the things that improve bone density are things like, weight-bearing activity. So
Can I see what this was on the last test? Do you know it?
it was, so you're at 0.4 now, and it was negative 0.1. So you're 0.3 lower than what you were before. Negative.
Oh, I'm at 0.4?
Now you're negative 0.4.
Okay, so the only thing I can think of is the drastic amount of increase in the cycling I've done and the slight decrease in weight training I've done. I'm still doing weight training consistently. I have not missed a strength training session in years, literally years. But
Yeah, and certainly.
I haven't been going as heavy, and I've been doing so much more riding, and my bone density came down. It just surprises me, but I'm definitely excited to try and actually improve that, and it will go in line with some of the changes I plan on making. So
Yeah,
I think
it's
that
a movable number,
be good.
no doubt.
Yeah.
I see it move all the time.
Yeah, before we move off this page though, we got to throw down, we have an extra almost 4 pounds of muscle since the last test. It's been 4 years, so we've increased muscle mass almost a pound a year. Maybe that does come with like some age. Maybe it's just pure dad strength because I have had 3 kids since the last test. But everything else is looking pretty good. Visceral fat is still 0. My weight is up with my muscle, but my body fat percentage is down 1% based off my last test, and it's 12.8%. Honestly, that's lower than I expected it to be because I think I've talked myself into being like a little thicker than I am. But the goal after this is to bring it down to single digit.
And you said you're 32, right?
Yeah.
So you're literally on the lean side of ideal. So, 11.7 to 18.2 is what our physicians at Train Us would consider to be an ideal subcutaneous body fat for your age and gender. Okay?
Right on.
Okay. This is your overall. So since your last DEXA, overall body fat is down and muscle is up. The same is true for your torso, your arms and your torso, but interesting, look at your legs. So in your legs, your body fat is up and your muscle is up. So it's the only region in your body that has really kind of not taken that trend. There was a discrepancy between your left and right leg previously in muscle,
Interesting.
and now it's pretty close to being the same. You're half a pound difference with your right leg being a little bit more muscular.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So android gynoid ratio, this is telling us of the body fat that you do have. Where is it on your body that you're carrying the majority of yours out of the two primary regions? Your android region is your torso, basically, armpits to top of hips. Your torso. You are not one of them. You carry more in your hips, butt, and thighs. It is healthier to carry more of it down here. It's one of the reasons women live longer than men.
Junk in the trunk right there.
Yeah.
You know what this really is?
Get it, bro?
This is low back fat.
Yeah. Is it?
Wouldn't it be? I mean,
Well,
wouldn't that still be in
hips
that?
and below.
I notice, obviously, like low belly, like low abdominal fat seems like it's the last thing to go. But before that, for me, if I get down into the single digit body fat, it's like the back fat that starts sucking in. That's like right above my belt line. So I'm not completely surprised about that.
Well, you don't want to change your number. You want to keep this just exactly as it is. This is a healthy way to carry it. So that's a good thing. This last page is just a summary of the numbers that we've gone over today. We place everything in one place so you can kind of compare apples to apples. We give you your baseline numbers from when you first came in March of 2019. So that you can these are just kind of like the highlights, if you will. So to change plus or minus in your weight, lean muscle, and subcutaneous fat. Here, my contact information's right here.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, I'm here all the time. So I threw a lot of numbers at you.
Cool.
You have
I can just email you
questions,
directly.
Totally. Yep.
Cool.
You can text, email, call, whatever works for you.
Awesome.
And then
That actually went better than I expected, but when I come back in 6 weeks, you're gonna see single digit body fat. It means I have to lose 3% body fat, and my muscle mass is not gonna go down more than a pound. I gotta give myself a pound of leeway, because when you lose body fat and you're in a deficit, it's normal to lose a little bit of muscle, but I'm gonna keep it within a pound and train through the whole process. So I'll be using the Dialed Health Shred protocol, which you can see as a link in the description, and you guys can check out as well. And if you have any questions about how I'm gonna be losing body fat over the next 6 weeks, feel free to drop it in the comments. If you have a question about fueling your rides or adding back calories for your rides, it's in that description, but I'd also be happy to answer your questions. So we'll be following up along the process, and I'll be tracking that food, keeping it tight. 6 weeks, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tear this test up. And if you want to see that happen, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up. It helps out a ton with the algorithm. And send this to some friends if you think they're interested in following along or taking on some body fat loss challenge themselves.